Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Beloved Jaegers, and today we're going to be talking about something that I've been requested to do so much, and it is why the needle has been moved a little bit for me on AOE. Now, obviously, this video will have spoilers for the entirety of Attack on Titans. If you have not watched this great and incredible series, do yourself a favor and watch this video at another time and save yourself the immense pain of being spoiled. Now, that being out of the way, let's get into this. So, why is AOE more palatable to me? Well, it's for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, which is the most important reason, is the messaging or the moral, right? The point of the story, the entire purpose of even why it was being written in the first place. I thought there's no way it was going to happen because the messaging will be off. I mean, the entire message will be ruined, and there's no point in having it. So, but I had a conversation with the fellow, and he could sort of convince me otherwise. So but there is a couple things. I'm almost certain that the whole "you're free" thing is not going to be Eren and his baby, because that being the last thing you see, because again, that means that the rumbling is being glorified, and Isayama does not want to glorify rumbling. He's called it evil. The narrator's called it evil, not Armin, the other narrator in the back of the manga. That's called it evil. Isayama said he didn't support it, so we're definitely not gonna have a scene, this awesome emotional scene where he grabs his baby and says "you're free" to him. And again, as I've said ad nauseam, 100% rumbling is not 100% rumbling. You do not need 100% rumbling to have freedom. As I said, there's 100 Marlians left over, some random island or random landmass. It'll be fine. Most people agree, and then it just becomes a numbers game of or draw an arbitrary line of how many people you want to kill if you're comfortable, right? So that's not going to happen. But the messaging, right? So Eren loving Mikasa, of course, I have a little bit of a problem with that. So, but again, there's lots of theories of AOE, but Eren loving Mikasa, that's a messaging that probably should stay in, right? The whole Ymir Fritz thing, the Ymir Living Call Fritz, that should probably stay in there. But if Eren does complete the rumbling, it's always said that he won't feel like really happy about it. Like, he'll feel sad because he sacrificed all his friends. And even ending defenders say the same thing. They say, well, I think I would prefer if Eren would have just been consumed by his evilness and have not had that little bit of character development at the end of the story, which I think is actually a very, very interesting idea. Like, what would happen if Eren actually did succumb to his evil and he actually did fully complete the rumbling and whatnot, right? So we still have the whole Children of the Forest thing intact. We have which of course is a forgiveness theme. We might still have the love theme in there. So perhaps we have, and of course, hopefully 137 still happens, which is the thematic climax of the story. So hopefully we still have all these themes of contentment, forgiveness, freedom, and love all in the ending like we had in the original. And then the other thing is Falco. Now this one might seem a little bit specific, and it's extremely abstract because it has virtually no proof for it. But the Falco thing really intrigues me because it's always been the sort of significance of Falco. Why is Falco like? It's hard to bring up specific examples, but there's been the best thing I can think of right now is his stream, of course, of him flying, which of course got extended in the anime, right? Or added in the anime. But I know he was looking up at the sky in the manga, but the whole I was flying around, that was in the that was just in the anime. And of course we have a lot of connections and parallels with Eren, and so even before I talked to this guy, I thought, man, there must be there's some sort of connection between Eren and Falco. I just cannot figure out where it is. And also, he's on the ending. He's like the first thing you see in the first ending of season 4. So there's lots of things going on there. And the last thing, which is the Warhammer Titan theory, which is funny because I read volume 33 pretty much directly after it came out. and then I waited until winter to read volume 34, right? So I had all this time to think about what I just read, and I actually thought, I have a very specific memory of me thinking, how come Aaron just doesn't use the Warhammer Titan? Because he cannot take away his friend's freedom and guarantee he doesn't rumble. No one has to die at all. They could just be playing around with, whatever, and he can complete the rumbling and there'll be no problem, right? So, and of course, the cool thing is about the fact of Falco is that Falco is the only person who can actually break the Warhammer Titan's crystal. So maybe something happens there. I don't know, but that's really cool. Another thing they mentioned is that it's just actually real proof is that when he's transforming, he transforms from the bottom up, right? I'll probably put the picture in there, but he transforms from the bottom up in the anime. In the manga, he transforms from the top down, right? So very interesting stuff there, right? And then the last thing I'll say, probably the last thing, is the Aaron's dream, which got taken out of the anime, right? Where he sees Mikasa in 138, and she kills him. She says, "See you later, Aaron." That is all taken out. The other thing that's left of it is "Why are you crying?" And of course, we might have actually gotten a replacement dream. And it might actually just be of him seeing his mom and Hannes die. And we know it's of him because his eyes are blurry, like his vision is blurry because he's crying. So when his mom gets picked up, the image quality drastically reduces to be blurry, right? And so that is why we know it's Aaron's point of view. And so it's, not that I need to prove it to you, but it's Aaron's point of view, and it's him seeing the future of Hannes dying, Tiber's, his mom dying, all sort of stuff. And there's also a bee on his, or a wasp on his eye, which is new. It's not in the manga at all. So when someone said, when doomers would say, well, he can still be crying because he saw the dream anyway, they can say, well, look, he can cry about Hannes' mom, because that entire thing is just so strange to me. It's always been pricking at me when I think about AOE. It's very it's very interesting why they took it out. As a doomer, I'd say they took it out because they didn't want it to be obvious what would happen around the rumbling arc, because it's more what's that word? It's more conspicuous. It's more conspicuous in the anime. Just like, for example, when Tiber is giving his speech, he says, "I wish for the extermination of the Eldians." In the manga, it cuts to a panel of Zeke's face, Zeke Raynal, and then cuts back to Tiber's speech. That's taken out of anime, and my reasoning is simple. Well, in the anime, it would have been extremely conspicuous that he just went from Tiber to this full-screen shot of Zeke out of nowhere, right? Again, that's just a theory. You may say, well, it's stupid, of course, I do it all the time. I agree with you. It's extremely weak, but that's the only thing I can really think of as to why they took those two out. But yeah, that's really, really interesting as to why that's there. And again, all that we saw was in the anime, except for the wasp or bee on Aaron's eye. So, I don't know what that's all about. And the third thing, which is probably the weakest point, is, actually, we're going to go to the weakest point, then we'll go to the strongest point. So, which would be, the weakest point, which would be Aaron's double voice. So, this is, people are saying sometimes Aaron has, I'll do double voice / different jacket. So Aaron has a double voice sometimes, and we know he has a double voice when he's in the cell at the beginning of the season. And of course, the first thing that comes to mind is when he's fighting Annie, right? And he has a double voice. Now again, it could be just for dramatic effect, but it's sort of interesting that Aaron has two voices. It's kind of weird. And again, he does this right before it turns into the Berserk Titan, which is this mysterious thing that just comes in and is never seen or heard from again, right? And now, for the strongest bit of evidence, which would be the one, well, maybe not strongest, but I think the strongest is the 138 memories. Mikasa I should say Mikasa. There is some panels of what appear to be flashbacks or memories, or maybe I should say there's panels depicting Mikasa and Eren running away, and then Eren saying to Mikasa, "Didn't you ask me that? Didn't you ask me to bring this up?" And then Mikasa says, "Yes, I did." Right? So, which never happened. The flashbacks, the scene depicted never happened in the conversation between those two. It never happened. So now it's like, where did this come from? Now, of course, there's some theories, right, which are all very interesting. But from an AOE perspective, obviously this has to be a different timeline, because Eren cannot plant memories into Mikasa's head or manipulate new memories. He cannot erase memories and manipulate memories. So that must have been her remembering a different timeline. And then, of course, since this is supposed to be from Muv-Luv, right? The Muv-Luv thing is that the girl keeps sending him back in time, so it means that the main female character is part of this whole timeline stuff, which is basically a stand-in for Mikasa, who will be in control of this whole timeline stuff. So that all checks out. Well, maybe not checks out, but that all works there. And then actually, I just mentioned Muv-Luv. I wasn't even gonna mention this video, but since I mentioned it, I might as well go into it anyway. The Muv-Luv theory. Yes, it's very interesting. Yes, we have a scene saying like it. We see a scene ripped it off. We have a lot of similarities between Muv-Luv and Attack Titan, and of course we have the template already set out. We have Muv-Luv Ultimate and the Muv-Luv Alternative. Could they say I would do that? Probably. I'm gonna put it past them for sure. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that is all the evidence that I think is really not convincing, but I think it's really decent evidence. It's really interesting evidence, and it's answered some questions that I've had about, for example, some questions I had 138, never fully understood 138, never understood why his memory was changed, and also the whole Eren Falco parallels, which are too copious to ignore, right? So, in the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next video.